This is GB News, Britain's news channel. I'm Dan Wootton. And as a journalist, I feel uncomfortable being the story. But I've always promised you that this show has no spin and no bias and no censorship. So I owe it to you to address this. As you probably don't know, hopefully you don't know, because you're not insane enough to pay attention to the cesspit of social media. These past few days, I have been the target of a smear campaign by nefarious players with an axe to grind. Notably, by an ex-partner who I was, and this is something I've never spoken about and it's very difficult to talk about publicly, but who I was previously abused by, and who has been on a campaign to destroy my life. In the past, he has written to me confessing to being a, quote, psychopath, and I saw this firsthand when he threatened in writing to, quote, slit my throat, many years after we had broken up. I have been forced to report his behaviour and threats to police. They are now investigating. He has created an untrue story about me and appears to have been working with an organisation who are intent on closing down this channel, whose reporters include a convicted phone hacker. The Guardian has also reported it tonight. What a surprise. Other unspeakable slurs have been made by a convicted extortionist I have never even met, who has a long history of blackmailing gay men and was sent to jail for a number of years by a judge who said his behaviour was, quote, compulsive and provided a high risk to the public. I, like all fallible human beings, have made errors of judgment in the past, but the criminal allegations being made against me are simply untrue. I would like nothing more than to address those spurious claims. I could actually spend the next 2 hours doing so, but on the advice of my lawyers, I cannot comment further. But I have been thinking much over the past few days about the current state of social media, where any allegation can be made in an attempt to get someone cancelled, but it is impossible to defend yourself against thousands of trolls. That said, I am coming on air tonight with a lot of humility too. I think being in the middle of this witch hunt has made me think a lot about the sort of journalist and broadcaster I aspire to be. One focused on the massive political threats facing this country, not on personal attacks. I mean, who doesn't have regrets? Should I be cancelled for them many years later? Or do you accept that I have learned and changed? The last few years, I've grown professionally and personally, and I've also found the meaning of true love after that truly toxic relationship with my ex that hurt me and damaged me. I've found happiness in my personal life with my wonderful boyfriend who is here tonight, my friends and family and my world. The toll that this has taken on their mental health, well, I mean, that is literally killing me to watch. There is a reason why I have, since day one on this show, had a segment called Uncancelled. Because our rush to judge before due process, thanks in my case to the mad ramblings of highly politicised Twitter trolls and revolting blogs that eschew basic journalistic standards, is destroying democracy. And that's why, by the way, I didn't say a word about Hugh Edwards. Not one word. No tweet was deleted by me, despite the misinformation and lies perpetuated by Carol Vorderman. I didn't know the facts, and I wasn't going to weigh in until I did. I do also note that there are dark forces out to try and take this brilliant channel down. Whether it's Nigel's bank account, which we're going to hear about from him soon, Patrick's Twitter, Jacob and Lee's ability to speak out, Calvin, who is also here tonight, his right to have religious views, or Lawrence speaking out against the entertainment establishment. We have all found ourselves under attack. And that's because GB News is the biggest threat to the establishment in decades. And they'll stop at nothing to destroy us. But we will keep fighting for you because we are a family here. You have been with me since day one. on what has been a life-changing experience for me, and we have each other's back. The way you have understood what's been happening these past few days, and I've seen it, I've seen your messages, I've seen what you've had to say, and that has meant the world to me. I recognise I'm a polarising figure, and by speaking out in this way, I'm opening the gates of hell on my life. But social media has become a race to the bottom. Pile-ons are now the way to cancel a person. Our country is better than that. We must be. We must be. And that's why GB News exists. What we're trying to do here is something different, to give a voice to the long-forgotten people of the United Kingdom. And a great man reminded me today that people don't follow you because you're right. They follow you because you're real. So thank you for your support and the support of GB News. And now, the actual news with Polly Middlehurst.
Kate Sleuth says the Dan Wootton negative PR is just another example of conniving Meghan getting her PR to do her dirty work. Well, there is definitely several signs. There are definitely several signs that Meghan's Sussex Squad are behind the promotion of all of this story and negativity. Because B. Barclay says some of Meghan's fans on Twitter are asking for people to come forward with accusations against Dan. In my opinion, this has Harry and Meghan's fingerprints all over it. Shock Stan is how everyone has been open to accepting this madness as if it's fact, when in fact it's sick and twisted. Who has waded in as well? The Sussex Squad and Meghan's followers. And I got some of this information from Samantha, because some of the people who are throwing oil on this fire are people who have stalked Samantha in the past.
Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I hope you don't mind the long intro, but I'm just catching up today on the Dan Wootton scandal or, attacks. So I find it very interesting. So suddenly he gets threatened by an ex-lover from a decade ago. And this is on the heels of Nigel Farage. I heard all about him getting debanked everywhere. Now, you don't just get debanked. That's the globalists taking you out. They do this to people like Alex Jones or the Gab founder, uh, Torba. So the globalists are after them, obviously, for him to get debanked from everywhere, Nigel, right? So now suddenly they're going after Dan Wootton. What I find interesting is that the Sussex Squad are also attacking Dan Wootton. And, they're always being portrayed as, quote, super fans, but in fact, they're a paid militia. They're an online militia, basically. And for some reason, this is they're not being held accountable. YouTube doesn't hold them accountable. They were able to say whatever they wanted on YouTube, swear, be violent in their speech, and they were never held. None of their videos were ever taken down. I think they ultimately took their videos down. But anyways, I just want to go back to the beginning with Sussex Squad. Back when they first were introduced here, one of the first articles back on Good Morning America by a mainstream media. Now, how do fans of someone get an article in the mainstream media? This is from April 30th, 2019. We're supposed to believe that the mainstream media suddenly became interested in a group of strangers online. Yeah, you notice how they emphasize, oh, they're strangers to each other. It's like, yeah, no, they're a coordinated hit campaign group. And of course, and I've covered this before, this article. I'm not going to read it or anything, but you can see the quotes in here. They're very threatening. Um, they admit to what they're there for. The Sussex Squad not only works to promote Harry and Meghan, but also to take down the haters in internet speak. So they're there to take us down. Yankee Wally, me, Dan Wootton, Nigel Farage. I mean, they're going up. They're upping the ante now. They're going after journalists, professional, but they've been going after journalists since day one. Meghan's been getting journalists fired since day one if they dare to say anything about Harry and Meghan. And Harry and Meghan have done nothing but instigate people from day one, right? Faking a pregnancy, fake belly bumps, squatting up and down when there's this allegedly 9 months pregnant, naming their firstborn Archie, naming the secondborn Lilibet, attacking the royal family and the Queen on Oprah and then Netflix. So they just instigate, and do things to get people to react, particularly journalists, and then they turn around and get them fired, right? They get them people taken down off social media with mass reporting. They had Christopher Boozy with his fake report, um, and the Sussex Squad behind him. So, I mean, and here's a second threat in this article. This is mainstream media. Anyone who writes negative rumors surrounding Meghan, and look out too. The Sussex Squad has you on their radar. So they work for the globalists. The Sussex Squad works for the globalists. They must. It's becoming mainstream media coverage. Now, I found it interesting that a big scandal came up around the scent to Bali back in April 2023. Let me find the first article here. Okay, so April 2023, April 21st. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle's Sussex Squad is full of hatred, says a royal expert. So this article came out targeting the Sussex Squad finally. Finally, somebody's taken them on, right? This is IB Times. It says Prince Harry acknowledged the Sussex Squad, which a royal expert said was full of hatred, right? Well, we all know they're full of hatred. British socialite and royal author Lady Colin Campbell and British journalist Phil Dampier, with nearly 30 years of experience of reporting on the royal family, joined Dan Wootton on GB News. During their appearance, the host mentioned Prince Harry acknowledging the Sussex Squad for helping his charity raise funds and asked the experts if by acknowledging them, he was encouraging rabid trolls. Quote, well, yes, of course, that's exactly what he's doing, Campbell responded. And of course, they also get paid because if you look at the Artwell's account, you'll see that they pay their media people as well, and that ends up being the Sussex Squad. So the Sussex Squad and the fact that they're paid is exposed by Lady Colin Campbell to Dan Wootton on GB News. And don't forget, it was initially came out and was exposed by Yankee Wally a few years ago when she saw their tweets about getting paid. So I think that's probably a main reason why they've been so much attacking Yankee Wally and taking her down so much. They don't want to expose that Harry and Meghan are paying them through Archwell. The Meghan and Harry, the real story author continued. They're called Sussex Squad for a very good reason. They are full of hatred. They have threatened the lives of the present Princess of Wales. They have said the most dreadful things about what they'd like done to the children. I mean, it's beyond belief what Harry and Meghan can think is appropriate to pay people like this and give them any recognition at all. They should be stoved to annihilation. Wootton also asked Dampier about the same thing, noting that the Sussexes have been promoting kindness and cleaning up the internet, but their trolls are the most vicious, the most nasty, and Lady C pointed out the most violent of them all. Campier joked that he might call the trolls silly sausages, adding that it's a mixed game and that it can't be taken away from Prince Harry. He said, I don't have any problem with him thanking them for fundraising, but where I do agree is that to my knowledge, Harry and Meghan have never spoken about the online trolls that go on and on. Some of it gets very vicious, death threats, etc., Dampier said. Quote, so they preach about peace and harmony, don't they? But they couldn't but they couldn't actually ask them, the trolls, to tone it down a bit. They could speak out about it, but after some of the things that he said in his book Spare, we know he's got a bit of a nasty streak, so he's not exactly setting much of an example. Prince Harry's charity Sentabale thanked the controversial Sussex Squad for helping them raise funds. However, some of the members have been in the spotlight for indulging in online abuse against their critics, The Telegraph reported. Sentabale received donations through online fundraising platform under the banner of Sussex Squad in 2022, which highlighted Sentabale's work in Lesotho and Botswana. Sentabale operated in the same way we would work with any member of the public wanting to raise funds for our work. Each year, we acknowledge a range of individuals, partners, groups, and organizations who have supported our work and has given financial year, and this year was no different. So Harry publicly thanked the Sussex Squad. They're vicious, nasty. They are right now. They've been attacking Samantha Markle. They're right now attacking Dan Wootton. And it's so obvious it's their full-time job, and that they work for Harry and Meghan. And they keep calling them super fans. They're not a super fan. They're a Sussex Squad. They call it a squad for a reason.
And they are then retweeted by Samantha's stalkers. So the Sussex Squad is deeply involved in all of this. It shouldn't be a surprise, because the Sussex Squad, that very rightly called the SS, because they are as malignant without being murderous as the SS was. They're both evil organizations. It's just that the SS actually killed people. The Sussex Squad, the up-to-date Essex, doesn't kill people. It simply tries to destroy them and kill their reputations and kill their ability to earn a living. Evil, evil. To see that anybody can sink to such a low level, and that a prince of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland can have been sucked into this by his supporters setting out to destroy somebody who criticizes him and his wife because of their unseemly conduct. And these supporters are behaving in such a truly reprehensible way. I mean, does this not strike you as deeply ominous? As of respect? Excuse me, Harry is a prince of the United Kingdom. He has no business allowing Sussex Squad people to behave the way they are behaving. And he has rewarded them in the past for behaving badly. So, he's obviously complicit, if not, in fact, by omission. You couldn't make any of this up. It is an absolute outrage. Well, let's see what happens, because I think this is going to turn out to have been nothing but a storm in a teacup, where Dan and his career are concerned. But where the malignant intentions of Harry and the people who go along with his desire to muzzle everybody who doesn't sing his and that frowsy cow of a wife of his praises. Sorry, it is an absolute abuse, not only of the rights of citizens, but, in my view, of decency. And on that note, I'll say, I think I've said enough. Thank you very much for listening.
So it's pretty obvious that Harry is behind this, attacking Dan Wootton and others with the Sussex Squad. I'm sure he's going to go after Lady C next. He's probably already trying to take her down now. I've been taken down, and Yankee Wally's always taken down. So let's see how this attack on Dan Wootton's going to go for Prince Harry and his Sussex Squad. Harry and Meghan, the Sussex Squad. I'll be using the regular Universal Tarot weight. I've already shuffled the cards, so I'm going to split the deck. Let's see what the cards show. Is this going to be Harry's downfall, or is he moving in with the New World Order and just taking over, destroying mainstream media and freedom of speech? Because we all know that's what Harry's all about. So his general attitude about taking on is the globalist card. Harry's working with the globalists. I showed that in an earlier video. There's no doubt about it. It's not just Harry. The Sussex Squad don't just work for Harry. It's for him and the globalists. It's just like George Soros with his Antifa BLM. They're the same people, I believe. That's what it looks like. Or the environment of it. Yeah, but dumb Harry just thinks he's defending himself and that he's doing the right thing for him and his wife, so his wife doesn't die like his mother, Diana. So Harry is, this is the whole facade. Harry is with the backing of the globalists, is pretending like, I'm just defending Meghan so she doesn't die like Princess Diana, which we all know is BS, and he knows it's BS. It's a line. It's a lie. It's a globalist lie to justify taking down all of our honest media. They want all the media to be controlled like in America with the CNN. All of the mainstream media here is all controlled. It's all state controlled, just like in China. They want it all like in China. Bobbing of it all, the craziness, Page of Cups reversed. And the Sussex Squad are being used. I hope they realize they're just being used, and just like the SS in Nazi times. And the Sussex Squad would be wise to look at history as to what happened to the SS brown shirts after their mission was accomplished and Nazism took over. They were killed afterwards. They're called useful idiots. So I hope the Sussex Squad realizes that. They're just useful idiots, and they will be disposed of after their use is over. And they will have no one to defend them because they will have destroyed everyone with their backing of the globalists here. I'm sure they're well paid, and most certainly are. I'm sure they're thinking, wow, we're got such great jobs here working from home, getting paid thousands of dollars just to be on Twitter. Well, that gravy train's running out. You ought to know it. So what's the basis of it? So Harry feels totally justified in doing this Nazi behavior. He is a Nazi. The bottom of it all, Major Arcana, it's all part of the social justice movement. He feels he's in the right with this. He feels totally justified in attacking the media. Again, he is crazy. He is high as a kite. He's mentally ill. He's drugged out. He's taking every drug, and he has no problem. He takes drugs. Too bad. That's all right. According to Harry, it's A-okay to take drugs. It doesn't affect you. It cleans your windshield wipers. I mean, he really believes this. He doesn't realize how deranged and out of touch and insane he is. He thinks he's in the right here. What he's doing is right because he's Prince Harry and he's rich. So everything he says is right here, and that means taking out all the media and attacking them and attacking people and getting them fired from their jobs and defaming them and making up malicious lies. And he's got the court system behind him too, it looks like. him and the globalists. We know that George Soros controlling all those prosecutors in the U.S., so in the U.K., also obviously a lot of influence there. And so Harry is using the justice system as well, but he also feels like he's on his own personal justice mission. It's the justice of the globalists. They want what they want. So now I was wondering, that interview back in April exposing the fact that Harry and Meghan pay the Sussex Squad through Archwell, how much of an influence is that in Harry and the Sussex Squad attacking Dan Wootton right now? Oh yeah, Chariot. Yeah, that exposure is a major reason why they're attacking Dan Wootton right now. I mean, it's also part of the whole globalist thing, because the globalists are taking down everybody at GB News. I get that. They want to take down the whole station. But for Prince Harry and the Sussex Squad, it's more personal. It's more about Prince Harry, and it's more about that exposing that Prince Harry is working so closely with the Sussex Squad. Even though Harry's come out and posed for pictures with Sussex Squad, when you do a search online, you can't find the pictures. If you do a search Sussex Squad, Prince Harry, you don't find those pictures. They know that you have to go searching for it, and you have to know who they are, because they posted all over Twitter, of course. Yankee Wally knows them all. But Harry is hiding his tracks as much as possible as far as his connection to the Sussex Squad, when in fact we know that he pays for them and has been paying for them. But he's trying to hide that, but it's impossible to hide. It's already exposed. Everybody already knows. But that article, and the fact that it was GB News with Lady Colin Campbell, that exposed it as the reason why Harry's feeling justified in attacking Dan Wootton right now. Harry's really sick and twisted and insane. And remember way back then, that military person was saying that Harry needs to be put in a bubble or whatever. He does. He's a danger to society. What's Harry expecting by attacking Dan Wootton with the Sussex Squad? He's expecting to take him down. Major Arcana here. He's expecting to take down the whole station and be successful here. And to make him look bad, attacking him here, destroying him. Harry's being so destructive and evil here. And he's got so much. I'm getting Major Arcana, Major Arcana, Major Arcana. It's a major backing Harry has. He's not working alone. This is part of a greater, larger strategy of the globalists to take down all the media. I mean, it's happening all over with, Trudeau. Look what he's doing on the internet. He's trying to block Canadians from seeing certain sites. I mean, they're trying to block all news sites that aren't the official state-run media. So there's a real push. The globalists only want the public, to have access to state-run media. So Harry is part of this larger group, and that's why he feels like he's going to be so successful. So what's working against Harry and his Sussex Squad? Five of Swords. There's all these people around that are fighting back. Little people, Minor Arcana here, but they're fighting back, and they are not going to let Harry and his Sussex Squad get away with this without exposing them for what they really are and who they really are and how nasty they are. And Harry, this could also represent Harry and his Sussex Squad's trick. This is like the Sussex Squad. They're being exposed for their tricks. Everybody knows who they are. And how nasty they are, everybody knows. Everybody knows. Anyone who's been on Twitter, anyone who's followed Harry and Meghan, they know the royals, because they've been making death threats to. They're making death threats towards Princess Catherine, and then they were spreading the false rumors, trying to falsely accusing William of having an affair. Remember that? They kept repeating it thousands of times over and over and over again. It was Christopher Boozy with his bots. Thousands and thousands of tweets saying, Prince William's cheating on his wife, Prince William's cheating on his wife. I mean, it's the same exact idea. They just made up this whole story, made up the accusation, but it sounds like something that could be true. So they ran with it, but it was not true at all. They were just spreading lies. And now they're doing the same with Dan Wootton. I mean, they don't even have to look for something. They just make up a lie, and they just repeat it. With their help with their bots and whatnot. So it's really, really nasty. But everyone knows what they're up to and how they work, and that, but still, it's still very nasty. So what helps Harry and the Sussex Squad? Oh, King of Cups, a water sign, man. Is that King Charles? It's not Prince William because they attacked Prince William. He's not supporting that. So I do see a water sign man here. It could be King Charles, or it could be somebody else, another man who's guiding Harry. This could be like the head of Google or the head of Twitter, like Aspen Institute, George Soros or something. Some man here who's a major help to Harry with coordinating the Sussex Squad. This could be Christopher Boozy too, helping him. Because I'm asking about Prince Harry and the Sussex Squad. So Harry doesn't contact the Sussex Squad directly. I think he goes through Boozy and that they or whoever to go through the orders. So he's got someone else that fronts for him. So he's not caught because Harry's clever enough to know that he doesn't want to be caught directly talking to them, although he has posed for pictures with them and they have directly thanked them and they do pay them. But they want to keep that all undercover, except for the thanking. Harry actually came out in the mainstream media and thanked the Sussex Squad. See, they were trying to make the Sussex Squad look like they were socially acceptable, but then that whole thing with Danny Trin came out when they tried to put her on a pedestal, like what a wonderful Sussex Squad member, Danny Trin. Then her tweets came out, were exposed for the nasty things she said about William and others. So they get exposed for what they are. So they tried to elevate the Sussex Squad to like this respectable organization that does fundraising, right? But of course that was a fail. So because their tricks get exposed, they don't cover their tracks. They're dumb, right? Just like Harry. So how does Harry see the Sussex Squad? How does he actually see them and they affect him? Hangman reverse. So they're a major factor in Harry's mission here and how Harry gets things done. But he also sees them as above it all here. Like they're above everyone else. Like they can't be taken down. They have the protection of the globalists and they take others down, but they can't be taken down because they're with the globalists, as I call them. They're with the establishment. So yeah, and they're also, like I said, they're all part of the social justice warrior stuff of claiming to be all oppressed and whatnot. Fulani Ngozi and all the rest of them, they're all the same group there. So the professional victims, because it's like the victim card, but they deserve to be hung, but instead they're criminals. A lot of them are ex-cons, I think. They're being put up on a pedestal here and being given all this power and on social media with the globalist backing, that they'll never be taken down. They can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. They can make up whatever lie they want. They can defame anyone, libel anyone, and then get away with it. They're above the law, like Harry and Meghan. So how are things going to go in the near future? See Harry making a fool out of himself. We try something new here. Doing something new, a new tactic here. And the long term, oh my. Yeah, things are not going to end well. Things are going to end abruptly for Harry and his Sussex Squad. Ooh, I wonder how nasty that's going to get. And it's going to end abruptly, and it's going to be final, and they're not coming back. They're going to be ended in such a way that there's no chance of coming back. So, they're ending all right. They're ending. So Harry's going to do something new and stupid, and then bam, it's going to end. Like they're going to be put out like a bug. Someone's going to stomp them, I assume. Something's going to end them real quick. How precisely that ending will come, from what avenue exactly, I can't say. But something's going to end them very quickly and suddenly, completely. So, yeah, so they are not going to be able to continue their reign as they have been enjoying. Their gravy train is running out. They're reaching the end of the line. So have to wait a little bit longer and watch this fizzle out. Like Lady C said, things have got to come to a head, and it can't happen soon enough. Well, it looks like it's happening soon enough there. Not right away, but I would say 3 to 6 months or so, by the end of the year for sure. Yeah, but Harry is riding high with his globalist buddies here. He feels totally justified in doing this. He is completely insane and high as a kite and deranged, lunatic, and he just hates that his activities with the Sussex Squad are so easily exposed. And but he needs them. He needs them. Without them, he's nothing. He could never get away with any of this. He couldn't do any of this without them. They're his little army, and he's powerless online without them. He knows that. So they are his force. They're the wind beneath his wings, and his wind's gonna be taken away real soon. So that is what I see here. Wow, this is all going to play out on the world stage, all these major arcanas. So I just have to wait and see, watch them collapse and fall into a fiery heap. So anyways, that is what I see for Harry and his Sussex Squad. I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.